Opinions expressed on ACB Media are those of the respective program contributors and do not necessarily reflect the views held by the American Council of the Blind, its elected officials, or its staff.
All right, welcome everybody to the Let's Talk Mac event for October 27th, 2022. And first of all, for those of you on the Clubhouse side, I hope it didn't prove to be too confusing for you. We're actually in a different club this week than our normal Mac club, so I don't know who we have over there at the moment because I'm actually on the Zoom side, and that's actually because of the demonstration I'm going to be doing in a little bit. So hopefully that did not prove too confusing for you. In the meantime, though, we're not here to dwell on that. We're here to dwell on Clubdeck, an app that works actually to a large degree the same on Mac and Windows. What is going to be the key difference is in a couple areas. When I tell you to go to the bottom of file or top of file, that's going to depend on your screen reader, which commands you use. And the Mac, we have an additional way of finding things that I don't know if you Windows users really have. At least I don't know of it. And that is the web rotor. Yes, you do have the links list in JAWS, and I think NVDA also has a headings list. But the web rotor in the Mac also gives us a button list. However, you can still find things without it. There are other ways to compensate without the web rotor. So that's why I'm definitely saying that Windows users are going to hopefully get just as much out of this as Mac users. Real quick, before we get into Clubdeck, though, I just want to mention that there has been a little update this past week on the Mac side. Just a little OS called Ventura. And it has changed some things. I'm not going to go into too many details. That'll be next week. We'll have an informal discussion about it, and then I'll do a demo or something the following week, or do a more in-depth discussion about it. I haven't fully decided on this because there's some new things, and I'm still learning this system. And two big things that really jump out at me is one, the focus mode. Now, it used to be when you enabled the focus mode in your control center, it would automatically toggle on do not disturb. Now you actually have to find the focus mode that you want. And I'm also having a very interesting bug with messages, and but we're going to talk more about that in a couple of weeks. So those are some of the big ones, but there are others. And the most other noticeable one for you guys is now system settings, and rather than system preferences. Oh, and preferences now in an app is called settings rather than preferences. But enough on that. Let's talk about Clubdeck. Now, let's start just by talking about what Clubdeck is. It is a third-party program that taps into the API of Clubhouse, allowing you to use Clubhouse on the computer. Now, I'm going to avoid as much technicalities here as I can. So what is an API? It's an open source program that it can, well, and I don't know if the API itself is technically open source, but this one is, and that just means that another program developer can use it to their own benefit. But it means is, and so they're, it's like let's see if I can give a good analogy. Let's say you own a house and you have a customizable, you have, like, your normal house features, kitchen and all that. Well, let's say you have an open key to your house, and somebody can come in and put on their own custom handle on your refrigerator door and leave yours on at the same time, so they can use it in conjunction with yours, or put extra knobs on the stove. I hope that analogy makes sense, but I'm basically, that's what Clubdeck is doing. It's taking the initial point of the program, which is Clubhouse, but it's not it's not, it's its own controls that do the same thing. And I'm hearing snoring in the background, or no, actually, it's just silence. Okay. But I hope that analogy makes sense. But this is important. Like, I got a question the other day if somebody wanted to know could they use an iPad and a Bluetooth keyboard with the Clubhouse app and do the same key commands that we can do on Clubdeck. As far as I'm aware, no, because Clubhouse is not Clubdeck. Now, the first thing you do need to know if you are new to Clubhouse, well, I should really step back. What is Clubhouse? Well, hopefully you listened to my demo a couple weeks ago, last week actually, on bits as to getting used to just knowing what Clubhouse is. And but it's an audio social app where there's many different clubs you can join or participate in or start or whatever. But you do need the Clubhouse app itself to get signed up for the service. There is no way currently to get signed in with Clubdeck. So you do need the Clubhouse app to initially sign up, as they have a sign up option as well as a login option. Now, after you do the initial setup and all that, then you can switch over to Clubdeck to your heart's content. But you do need to know, again, with the nature of Clubhouse, you can only be signed in one app at a time. So you cannot be on both Clubhouse and Clubdeck at the same time. So, advantages and disadvantages of Clubdeck. Let's talk about them real quick. And well, first of all, let me backtrack one more time. If you want to download the app, if you go to clubdeck.app, that's where you'll find it. The Mac download link is first, and then the Windows is the second download link, and it's right there on the main page. So let's talk about advantages, disadvantages, and rumors. Ooh, yes, gotta love them rumors, like Timex Social Club. Advantages of a Clubdeck. One, you get to use your PC, and if it's plugged in, it's not going to be a battery hog the way Clubhouse can be. Being on your PC also means that you get to be using your USB headset mics or whatever. If you're using Bluetooth, maybe it doesn't matter as much, but you can also be doing other things on the computer. You can also do things like route mixers, software or hardware to your computer, use any third-party microphones, so people get to hear me in stereo all the time on Clubdeck because I can be on there using my Blue Yeti microphone. So those, of course, are some obvious advantages. Clubdeck offers some things that Clubhouse does not. You have the ability, for instance, to record locally a Clubhouse room that you're in on your computer. You also have options, which I've not really played with, but you do have options for linking Clubdeck to, when you're in a room, to like Facebook, YouTube, things like that. You know, if you have, let's say, a nice computer speaker that you want to hear the output from, especially in a room that you're just listening to, you can do that. It's very easy to change the audio outputs and inputs. Also, when moderating, we have a very convenient mute all feature that you do now have in Clubhouse, but it is under a window. Another advantage you have with Clubdeck when it comes to moderating is everything is all on the same page, so you're not jumping from window to window, and instead you go from heading to heading. So like you've got a speaker's heading, a raised hands heading, a followed by the speaker's heading, a everyone else's heading, whatever that thing is called, and then your room controls. And so this means you can basically have a lot more flexibility because you can deal with people if you need to, and if you need to communicate at the same time. I'm reminded of why, like in ACB, for instance, we have the policy of you cannot host Zoom on your phone. And I would equate Clubdeck to, it's a Clubhouse is a little bit better for the phone than Zoom when it comes to moderating, but it's Clubdeck is like having Zoom on the computer. You're everything is all in one place that you can get to stuff and just react a whole lot quicker. So, one of the comments I hear about Clubdeck is it's a nightmare to navigate. So let's talk about the disadvantages. One, it's not like Clubhouse where everything is you swipe right and you go from room to room. You don't use your down arrow keys to easily navigate Clubdeck. What you do need to do is your heading navigation. So if you're not good with headings, A, it's going to help you on the internet, not just on Clubdeck, but B, it'll really be useful because you need to know how to navigate by headings and by buttons. I use buttons more than I do headings on Clubdeck just because if I'm going to join the room, then I'm already right there. But I have to use headings for when it comes to moderating or whatever. So that's going to be your friend. Also, another disadvantage of Clubdeck, or an advantage, depending on how you look at it, you do not get notifications when the app is closed. So if you use Clubhouse, you will get notifications of so and so is in blah 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 room, or so and so has pinged you. You do not get those notifications when Clubdeck is closed. So just make note of that. You can get them when they're open. They still can be easy to miss, but you do get them. All right. And rumors. Let's talk about the rumors real quick. The big rumor that people had last year is using Clubdeck is illegal and it'll get your account suspended. So, needless to say, that was a little bit concerning. And I actually did look into this matter last year when I first learned about Clubdeck because I wanted to verify this for myself. And I can tell you that on the Clubhouse website, there was nothing whatsoever about Clubdeck or third-party apps or, using them will get your account suspended. So that rumor hopefully has now really gone to rest. And as a constant Clubdeck user, I have been using it for the last year and my account is still very much up and going. And there's definitely been some proof that Clubhouse and Clubdeck do cooperate with each other. There was a situation for a while where we could not get signed into Clubdeck if you got signed out. And that was very quickly addressed. It had to do when Clubhouse switched to the 6-digit PIN method rather than the 4-digit PIN method. But they worked together and got that resolved. Clubdeck has indicated in the past that they actually are hoping to get bought out by Clubhouse, but that has so far not happened. But if you are an M1 Mac user, you can run the Clubhouse app on your Mac as an iPad Mac. So that is just some basic things about Clubdeck. Now let's talk about navigating. One other thing that can be a little bit frustrating about Clubdeck is the fact that things don't open in separate windows is a little bit frustrating when you want to say go to view somebody's profile or view a club information page. You do have to find the proper heading, and so there are some things that it could be useful where they could do a separate pop-up window. And so what Clubdeck does is it adds on to your screen, and sometimes it's good about jumping you to that spot, sometimes it's not, and that can be a little bit confusing, and you just have to use it all the time and you get used to it. But it's a little bit easier when you're in a room because you know that the room controls heading is going to be your last heading before you get into extra headings or whatever. So I'm now going to turn. What?
I do have a few comments when you're ready, but we can
All
get
right,
to your
so
demo first.
make your comments. Go ahead and make your comments, and then we're going to get into the actual demo. So
Yeah,
Chanel,
just the other thing you cannot do, you can't see everybody who is unmuted in Club Deck once they're up on stage. You can do a keyboard shortcut to hear who's currently
now
talking.
sorry to interrupt. I'm just curious. Did you hear anybody hear my time announcement just now?
No.
Okay. I do apologize for us. We're having to get used to what loopback now transmits and what it doesn't, and I didn't think it transmitted the time announcements, so I just wanted that confirmation. All right, sorry for the
And
interruption.
when things open up in Club Deck, they often open up as a heading level 1. I know that it might be confusing to pay attention to heading levels, but your events that are going to be coming up are at heading level 3. The events currently going on are at heading level 2. The intro to the room, where it kind of says what it is, ACB Presents, that's at heading level 1. And if you open somebody's profile or a club, that's also at heading level 1. I also believe that when Club Deck, when it opens, you can open a list of keyboard shortcuts or what's new. I think that's also at a heading level 1 as well. So it's really useful to learn the heading levels because then you can quickly jump to what you want instead of just merely pressing the letter H. Of course, this would assume that you are using Quick Nav on the Mac or just your regular JAWS navigation. And on Windows, we do use the arrows up and down to move in between the headings. But anyway, that's all. I know I'm probably jumping the gun, but it's your presentation, so I'm done.
All right. So I tell you what, before I actually get into the demo, does anybody have any questions on just what I have talked about so far?
No questions on Zoom.
Nothing from Clubhouse as of yet.
All right.
Oh, did you not see the raised hands that or was I that Brad
I don't
and...
see raised hands here.
Oh. Okay.
Are you seeing raised hands right now?
Not at the moment.
Because I've been keeping a constant
But
look.
I did
haven't seen
okay.
anything.
All right. All right. Well, weird.
All right. Well, you can always refresh your pages with Control P that refreshes the room, and of course, there's also the command VOF5. Well, Darcy can, Chanel can't because she's on Windows, but you can do the Control P. All right,
switch.
so you're now hearing my voiceover.
Doc.
I'm going to open Clubdeck.
Clubdeck, 19 of 38.
One other disadvantage I do want to talk about real quick though in Clubdeck is I have had issues on the Windows side with Clubdeck and updates, and I've never had a problem on the Mac side, but I have had some issues on the Windows side, and so sometimes I have to completely reinstall the app. So, all right, I'm now going to open Clubdeck.
Loop Clubdeck. Clubdeck, window, Clubdeck, web
Thank you.
content.
So on Windows, you can just jump right into the headings. On the Mac side, we have
Close
to interact. And so
Clubdeck.
let's do a VO end and interact with VO shift down. And
Heading level 1.
Thank you.
Your profile.
okay, so right now it's on my profile. So I'm just going to VO right to take a look at what we've got here so far. And if you're on Windows, you would just down arrow here.
Your profile link, Herbie Allen. Your
So let's go back up to
SVG
this.
plus XML.
I think
base
this
64,
is my
PD
photo
94,
type
PW.
thing, the XML crap.
Your profile
junk.
photo. Click to change it. Image.
Yep. Profile photo, click to change it. I've never dealt with this.
Link, Herbie Allen. Link, toggle audio settings.
So the first one is Herbie Allen toggle audio settings with Clubdeck. We've got two options for toggle audio settings. We've got one here on the top that is always active, and then there's an additional one once you're in a room. The big difference between the two, other than the fact that this one always shows up, is the room one will also let you shift between the different modes, high, low quality, and music mode. And you can also adjust whether you get spatial audio or not from there.
Link, toggle notifications.
So this is where I can see all my notifications.
Link, toggle online friends.
See all my online friends.
Link, browse Clubhouse by topic and language. Link, toggle saved replays view. Link, open back channel. Link, toggle houses list. Link. Toggle theme preferences. Link. Buy us a coffee. Link. Log out. Heading level 1. Search.
All right, so now we're to a search thing. So if you want to search Clubhouse, again, you can just get to here or use a lot of beautiful shortcuts in both Mac and Windows. You can use the letter F to get to the nearest forms field with Mac if your quick nav is on, of course, and or the letter E, and you can also use your web rotor in the Mac to go to the search element. So you do have a number of options here.
Type a search query or paste a link and press enter. Search text field. Heading level 1. Start a room.
All right, so that's the search. We're gonna continue on. I'm just going down the list here.
Start a room. Selected button.
So I can start a room, and maybe I'll show you that in a little bit.
Heading level 1. Hallway.
But actually,
Start a
I'll tell you
room.
what. I do want to show you start a... Well, I'll come back to the start a room, but it's actually very simple to start a room. Hallway.
Heading level 1. Hallway.
All right, so you recognize this from the phone app as well. So this is where you're going to see all the rooms, but there's a couple other things before that.
Link. Filters. Heading level 2. Events. Upcoming events. View more events. Selected button.
Okay, so right here we have a button for view more events, and this is useful because you can filter out events that you are tagged in versus the upcoming ones, and that is how you do that.
Create an event. Selected button.
This is where you create an event, and it's actually very easy to do here on Clubdeck, and one of those things that I actually say is easier than Clubhouse.
Metaverse discussion and updates. Heading level 3. Metaverse discussion and updates. October 27th, 2022.
So
5,
now I'm seeing things
00
that thinks I might be interested in.
Link. Tech Talks globe symbol with meridians. Profile photo for Link. Mr. C. Profile photo for both Link. Both Vagabond. Profile photo. Link. Natalie. Profile photo for Rami Alsada. Link. Profile. Link. Profile. Link. KPOT.
Okay, this is getting to be a bit much here because there's so many people on stage. So this is where my heading navigation can come in handy.
Heading level 3. Police car revolving light. Kanye fall continues bomb. Sports to yellow 5. Pointed star. Bale American football. Skechers boots office building. School downwards pointing arrow. Heading level 3. Eagle. KFN global fire. Intercessor prayer room hands with medium skin. Heading level 3. Turn your knowledge into a thriving online business.
See, I'm right now just doing headings to see what rooms are active, but here's where I find buttons are a little bit more useful. So on the Mac, if your quick nav is off, then VO Command H for heading. With quick nav on, then just H. And for the buttons, you're going to find it easiest just to do your VO Command J, or with quick nav on B. And with JAWS and NVDA on the Windows side, just H and B will do, since, well, actually you do have a quick nav now, but...
Subscribe to this event.
So
Subscribe to this event.
Ah,
Button.
yes.
Your events at heading level 3 are not happening yet. That's why it's important to
Yes.
hear the levels. So you said that they
All
were
right, I
going
was-
on, but they're actually not.
Yeah, I was about to correct myself on that. And no, because these are events that it thinks I might be interested in. So this is where on the Mac, I find my web rotor is actually the most efficient way to find ongoing events. So the web rotor is a tool that I hope you are using on your Mac. If not, then please do, because when you navigate Safari and Mail with links and apps like Clubdeck, it's going to be a lifesaver. And I cannot stress how important this is. You'll find, I think, the web will become a lot more accessible. So to bring up the web rotor, it is a VOU.
Links menu.
And it is pointed to links. I'm going to left arrow to buttons.
Text fields buttons menu.
And now all I have to do is type in the letter J.
Join room ACB presence. Let's talk Mac from the club ACB with 16 other users, of which Schnell Allen, Darcy Bernard, Nikki Mobile, Abby Taylor, Patrick Ford. Button.
You know what? Okay, with 16 other users, I think I like this better in the ACB club. That's more than we usually get in the Mac club. I said I wasn't going to talk about it, but I just couldn't help but notice the audience there. And by the way, Abby, hi. You're one of the people that made my heart happy last week. Even if you don't try out Clubdeck, I'm just so happy that you were able to follow my Clubhouse presentation and give it a try. And I see you're on here right now in Clubhouse, so yay! All right. I'm done with my moment, guys. And now I can just down arrow.
Join room trick or treat. Give me something good to eat. From the club around the house with 3 other users, of which JJ, the Empress Tyna Dancer. Button. Join room Good Morning Friday from Thailand with 1 other users, of which Mr. Enicha. Button. Join room R&B, Rhythm and Backwoods Fire, Palm Tree, Brain, Security mode. From the Clubhouse of R&B.
So notice that the buttons are giving me the same type of information as the headings. The advantage with the headings is really going to be if you want to click on one of the usernames that, people that is a link and get to their profile, like
16
to
other
follow
users.
them.
Which are Jared Hunter, John Williamson.
Shut up, voiceover. That's where we're going to really find that works in our favor in terms of if you really want to find Buddy. But otherwise, if you just want to
Toey
browse rooms here, then that's where you can just really go through your list of buttons, either with the web rotor or with B on either
Subscribe
system.
to this event. Select
But
it.
what I
Button.
did with the web rotor, which you cannot do with just the B navigation on either system, is the reason why I hit the letter J is that took me, because with the Mac you can find things like this that are just listed. And so this is where on Windows you might want to do a Control F. I think that works in the Windows version of Clubdeck.
Control insert or JAWS key F.
Okay, so Control caps lock / insert depending on which mode you have your JAWS, and F. That'll bring up the find, and you'll want to find the word join, but you can just type in your case, I would type in the word join because it's going to find if there's any links that have the letter J, it's going to find those first if they are before the first join button. But with the web rotor on the Mac, I had told it to just strictly look for buttons, and I typed in J, and it took me to the first button it saw that had the letter J, which happens to be all the join buttons. And now I could just arrow through, and then I can enter on the join button that I want, VO space again, and voila, it takes me into the room. All right, I tell you what, we're going to try something here that'll prove to be interesting. We're going to see if this works. Darcy, if you can mute on both Clubhouse and Zoom, because I'm actually going to come into the room and show everybody what it's like when they're inside a room, and I think it'll be easier if I go into a room where everybody knows what I'm doing. Back in.
And I do see it, but hopefully Darcy does as well.
And now that I'm on stage, again with both systems, this is where they are exactly the same. Control M to unmute, because when you are brought up on stage, you are muted by default. So remember that when you're in the audience and you want to come up on stage and you get the invite, that little do sound, Control Shift A is accept, and Control M is your mute / unmute toggle. Control Y, I think, is your raise hand thing, though it's a lot easier just
No,
to go to
it's
the
Control Shift R.
Control Shift Y.
No.
Control Shift R. Okay. I just find it easier, honestly, to go to the end of the page and go to the raise hand link that way, because then I know for sure it worked. When I do raise my hand, though, I'll know it's raised because the link will now say unraise hand. So that's what I would see when I'm in the audience. Okay.
End of list.
So the easiest way to orientate yourself, I think, is just to go to the end of the list with, in my case, VO end. On your Windows, it would be Control end. And you're just going to work your way backwards through the headings. And I find this to be the most easiest way to orientate myself. I could use the web rotor and type in go to heading and speakers and all that if I wanted to. So you have several options here. So I'm going to work my way to the top and then come back down to the bottom, just so you know what I'm doing. So I'm going to be skipping over things because I'm going to come back to them.
Heading level 2, 3 items, followed by the speak. Heading level 2, 3 items, speakers, 3, right. Heading level 1, 2 items, currently listening to. Ace.
Currently
presents
listening
Let's Talk
to.
Mac.
So this is actually the first heading that tells you what room you are in. And you can see a couple of interesting things here if you arrow down or VO right.
ACB presents link ACB space.
Link ACB. So that is the club. So if I wanted to click on that club and get more information and follow it, I could do that, which I've already done. But
19. Here now. Left parenthesis 24. Total.
I can see the statistics, how many people are here now, 19 versus 24. I love this.
Replay on.
Replays are on.
Space. Link. Save this replay.
I can save this replay, and that just means I can go back to that saved replays at the top and access it later.
Clips. On. Space. 40 minutes. Space. Link. Copy this room URL.
Copy this room URL. This is a great feature if you want to share the room with somebody or the replay or whatever. You can VO space on this.
Okay. Default button.
Or enter, and it copies.
Heading level
OK is the
1.
default button,
Items.
and then you can paste
Currently
it
listening
wherever
to
you want,
ACB
in an
presents.
email, in a
Let's talk
text message.
ACB link. Space. 19.
Talking over voiceover, I do apologize. So you can paste it wherever you want and share the room with people.
Here
So
left 20 total. On. Space. Link. Clips. On. Space. 40. Space. Link. Space. Tweet this room URL. Group.
I can tweet the room URL.
Space. Link. Share this room to Clubhouse.
And I can share this room to Clubhouse. Let me show you what that's like.
Share
So
required invalid data. Edit text.
here you do have to input text. So
Delete cap. S.
come learn about Clubdeck. And
Clubdeck.
then I can VO
Okay,
end
selected
to
button.
the VO end to the OK button, or Control end if I'm on Windows,
Club. Okay. Default button.
and VO space or enter,
Tweet this room URL.
and do my.
group.
I've got a confirmation that I just had to hit enter on, and I'm good to go. I've now shared the room so that people will see my name and my reason for sharing the room.
Space. Link. Left 2. Right parenthesis.
What if I don't really want to see this crap? I want to go into the speakers. I can do that just by going to the next heading.
Heading level 2. 3 items. Speakers. 3. Right parenthesis.
So there's 3 speakers up on stage, and I can VO Command L through each of them, or do links list if I'm on Windows.
Herbie Allen. Schnell Allen. Darcy Bernard. Link.
And if I want more information on any of them, I can VO space on their name. I'm going to pick a random person, though, in a minute. And now I can keep going.
Herbie Allen. Link. Up arrow. Link.
So that up arrow tells me if I'm doing my link navigation, it's going to go to a new heading. In this case, if I VO Command Shift H.
Heading level 2. 3 items. Followed by the speakers. 8. Right parenthesis.
So this is that followed by the speakers. And by the way, unlike Clubhouse, we don't have that invite stuff here. So now I can see who's all in the audience.
Up arrow. Abby Taylor. Link.
Hi.
Rowland McGuire. Link.
Oh, hello.
Jared Dreimer. Link.
Should have told you to bring him up on stage, but that's okay.
Brad Snyder. Link.
Bradford. Do I like him muted? Yeah, I do.
Tony Burrell. Link.
Hello, Tony.
Kim Ryu. Link.
Hello, Kim.
Lucy Edmonds. Link.
Hi, Lucy. You're on here. I don't know if you're on Clubhouse or Clubdeck, but glad you're here.
Kaylala. Link.
Kayla La. Yes, she's been learning Clubdeck.
Up arrow. Nikki Mobile. Link.
Nikki Mobile, who's also streaming the Pennsylvania Convention over the weekend on Media 8, so be sure to check her out and don't be late.
Becky Hawkins. Link.
Becky, welcome.
Calvin Thompson. Link. Peggy Clark. Link. Mervin Keck. Link.
Mervin. All right.
Hugo Gallegos. Link. Buster Dennis.
And
Link.
Hugo
PTR.
and Buster,
CTRL.
I don't know you
SP.
guys,
Link.
but welcome. Glad to see that you are here. All right. So now, again, I can still keep going through links, or if I wanted to jump through all this again, I can just do headings.
Heading not found. Heading level 2. Room controls.
So now I'm at that room controls heading. Now, the first one, your mute and unmute toggle, in addition to Control M, it's also a button.
Public room. List 20 items. Mute. Button 1 of 20.
So this is my mute button. If I press it,
Mute
and
selected.
now I'm unmuted. Yay, I can mute and unmute. So if it says mute, that means I'm unmuted. If it says unmute, that means I'm muted. I don't like that arrangement, but they didn't ask me. And then
CTRL plus M. 2 of 20. Link. PTR. CTRL plus P. 3 of 20.
so this is where I can refresh the room with Control P if I don't think things are looking right.
Reaction. Link. Ping. Link.
Here's where I can ping people if I want. You know what?
Audio settings. Link.
Audio settings.
Audio effects. Link.
Audio effects. So here you can do some interesting things like add in some applause and stuff like that.
Voice effects. Link.
I've never really played with the voice effects much.
Record the room. Link.
I can record the room.
Clip. 0. Link.
I can share clips.
Voice assistant. Link.
Never done anything really with the voice assistant.
Profile pic. Link. Open channel insights. Link. Show followers number. Link. Show search. Link. Open stats. Link. Open transcript. Chat with mods. Link. Open social chat. Link. Move to audience. Link. Last link. Move to audience.
And there you go. And so I think you'll find that that's pretty self-explanatory. So I'm going to... Now, how do I get out of here? Well, that's a good question. And on the Mac, I just do a Command Q.
Cancel.
And then I VO right.
Okay. Default button.
Which it's a default button anyway, so I don't need to. On Windows, you Alt F-
Clubdeck. Loop back. Loop back.
Okay, so
Clubdeck. Zoom us. Zoom
Darcy,
us.
go ahead and unmute
Meeting.
on the
Window.
Clubhouse
Oh,
side.
audio
I'm out of the
submenu.
room now.
I did.
And Darcy, you may, that bug you're having, you may need to leave the room and then leave the app and then come back in and you should see raised hands.
Okay, yeah, because everything else is updating. Like
Right.
the follower count, the number of speakers, that stuff is updating. But I've not seen any raised hands this whole time,
Okay.
All right.
and I can't really leave because then that stops the link. So I think we'll
Oh, okay, yeah. All
so
right.
we'll just have to deal with it.
I'll take care of the raised hands for now. I know you know how to do it. I've had that problem though before too, so that's just a
The problem there is you don't know that you're having the problem because you don't know if no one's raised their hands.
Yeah,
or if
that's
you're
the
just having-
problem.
So,
Yeah.
Herbie, you do have a couple raised hands
All right,
on
so
Zoom.
let's start with Zoom then, and then we'll go to Clubhouse.
All right, Jane.
All right, Jane, yes. Jane.
Jane, you're muted.
Make sure you're also muted on the mixer side. All right, well, we
All
will
right,
come...
let's go to Lisa.
Lisa.
Okay, hello, I'm here.
Yep.
I have a really kindergarten, toddler, infant question. I'd
Oh,
really
good.
love.
That means I'll actually be able to answer it.
I'm sorry because I didn't know. When I came in, you would talk. I'm not familiar with it. I'm kind of living between. I'm trying to learn voiceover on my Mac, but there's been issues. So you said it's good. It's a really good idea to use, and I couldn't catch the name of it. If you're not using it, you said I really encourage
The
you
web
to use
rotor.
it. What is a web rotor?
So the web rotor divides. Are you familiar with how the rotor works on the iPhone, first of all?
Yeah.
So the web rotor is the
Yes.
exact same concept on the. It's one of two rotors we have on the Mac, but what the web rotor does is it will divide things up into like headings, links, or whatever, so you can find things quicker that way. So, for instance, you can
So is that with the magic mouse?
that's with VOU.
What is VOU?
How you bring up the web rotor on the Mac.
I didn't know you could do that, to be honest. I'm so novice at this.
A lot of
And I don't
people
have
do. I
access to
think
it.
one of the things that because a lot of comments I always see from people is, "Oh, Safari is not accessible. Safari is not accessible," and I think it's because they don't know the web rotor. Because I could do a demonstration of just how it'll save your life, and I think I will do that for a future thing. But it
Oh,
divides
please save
things.
my life.
Yeah. But it divides things up so it makes your site smaller. And what's really unique about the web rotor is you can find elements that you're pointed to. So like I'll use Blackboard as an example, like because I go to school and Blackboard is a very complex website with a whole bunch of links on it. And so with the web rotor, I can bring up my links navigation and type in the word log, and that's all I need. And it right now narrows it down to the two login links that are on the website, and I just need to select the correct one. And so, when used properly, the web rotor can really it can narrow down your choices especially if you know what you're looking for. And it just makes it a lot easier to find stuff. And I will try to
How do you
do a
access it?
VOU.
But what do you mean? You just press VOU?
Yep, you press VOU when you're on a
The
website.
VO keys.
Yep, with VO with
Voiceover
control
keys.
option. Yep.
Wait, I don't know. When you say VOU, you press the letter V, the letter O, and the letter U?
No.
No, your voiceover.
I'm telling you, I'm infant.
So we're
No, you're
talking
okay.
about using the screen reader voiceover on your Mac. So we do everything from a voiceover basis, the screen reader.
Okay, so it's a voiceover thing that you say, because you're
Yes.
saying type in lots.
Yeah, so it's
Oh,
the
but it's still
voiceover.
using voiceover.
Yes.
Oh, okay. I didn't catch that. Okay, I didn't realize
yes.
that. Thank you so much. Okay,
Yep.
so it's having voiceover on, and then how do you
Yes.
access the web rotor when you're on voiceover?
When your voiceover is on, you can use one of two ways to access. So when we say VO, that is your voiceover key. And there are two
gotcha.
ways to access that. You can either use the keys Control and Option, or you can use your caps lock key. So you would hold either one of those key combinations down along with the letter U. And I think what I will do is I will do a discussion. One of my future calls, maybe even the next one, will be more specifically on the web rotor, how to navigate, how to make use of it, as well as like the rotor with the quick nav on, because I don't know if I'll have enough for just
Yeah,
the
I
web rotor.
understand. I'm asking a really basic question, but thank you
No,
so
that's
much
fine.
because I
But
really
I need to know who my. But it's really good. That's really good because if I know who my audience is and I can do more customizations on based on my audience, I'd really love to do that. So your question is a very important one. So
Thank you, Kirby. You're wonderful. I really appreciate you very much. I know you do.
you're welcome. So I think maybe I need to do one on really getting started with the Mac. I've never really done that because most of my audience usually is tended to have a background in the Mac, but maybe one focused on just getting started with the Mac is also a good idea. So guys, this is why your questions are not dumb, because I need to help you, and the more I know your backgrounds, the more I can do a better job on this end. So it's very important. All right, thank you, Lisa. All right, do we have Jane?
Jane is back.
There you are.
I am back. So this was my problem yesterday. I had to monitor Clubhouse yesterday, but I couldn't figure out where either people weren't raising hands and I didn't get them, or where they are because VoiceOver kept I've never had.
So if people are raising their hands, that heading is always going to be between your speakers and your followed by. So that's going to be a heading that will always pop up in between there if they are raising their hands. Sometimes when you come into a room for the first time, maybe what you might want to do is leave the room and come back if especially if you're the only one moderating, it's not usually a big deal. It usually seems to affect people more when they come into the room later. But you may want to leave and come back just to be sure. But yes, the raised hand heading will always be between speakers and followed by the speakers. And one thing I will do, by the way, guys, on my Mac Club is if you want practice moderating on Clubdeck or Clubhouse for that matter too, talk to me because the Mac Club meets every Thursday and we have our informal sessions as well as our formal sessions. And I am more than happy to use my informal sessions to give people additional practice. So definitely talk to me, and it's not gonna make you host and qualified or anything like that. It's just for additional outside practice. But where we can go over some of this stuff more in depth too. Make sure you know where your headings are. Make sure that you actually do have a raised hand and stuff like that. So, but that heading is always going to be between your speakers and you're followed by the speakers if they are raising their hand. All right, I'm told we have some people over on Clubhouse.
Yeah, we have Nikki
Chanel, you're
and
muted.
we have Lucy.
All right, so well, we can't do ladies first because they're both ladies. I don't know, so I guess we'll go in order. There you are. So Nikki.
Hey guys, well, I am done streaming for now, so that is one thing that I'm done with. But really good demo, and I wasn't aware there were two audio settings links there, but I always use the first one because it always seems to change my input for some reason, or not always, but a lot of times it does. And I like the idea of using the web rotor to find those buttons, although there's one situation, and it's not in Clubdeck, so I'll ask you about it later, where the web rotor doesn't seem to work as well. But it would be, I've been using QuickNav to do it, but I can see where the QuickNav, isn't as convenient because you can type that first letter navigation and get to join right away. I kind of like that idea.
You can still have QuickNav on and use the web rotor though if you want.
No, that's true, but QuickNav can get in your way sometimes.
It can.
Yeah, it can because
but yeah,
you don't realize it's on, and you do something and you arrow and like you back to your mail app and you arrow and you're like, wait a minute, where's my list?
yes.
You know.
I recommend. I do not teach people even how to use Clubdeck with QuickNav on, just because I am not a QuickNav believer. I'm not a Daydream believer either.
But you also don't
anyway.
use heading levels in there anyway.
No, but I find the web rotor is a lot quicker. But if I was on Windows, I probably would use the heading levels method more. So.
Can you press like 3 for heading level 3
Yes.
and all that?
You can.
With QuickNav on, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Yeah. I didn't know you could do that. I knew you could press H for heading. And what was that command for refreshing again? I
Control P.
Oh, Control P.
And if you want to move to different links on the Mac with QuickNav on, it's L. On Windows with QuickNav on, it's U. So, in Windows, it is U. If you're, to move to the next unvisited, it's kind of complicated. But since each person is a link, so that's another way of doing it.
Okay, thanks.
All right, very good. Okay, Lucy.
Actually, she's gone now. Brad's here.
Oh. Brad, okay.
I'm just here in case Herbie runs into something he can't handle.
Okay, that's good to know. I've got plenty I have still not talked about.
And by the way, I do use QuickNav a lot. I like it because I can single key forwards and backwards by headings. L, I can go to individual speakers by link,
Yep.
So I guess everybody does something a little different.
This is one thing I'll pick on him, but this is one thing that Cliff and I agree on. So, we're not. I will use quick nav sometimes. But I'm fine with using both.
So Lucy's
Yep.
back. I don't know if she was gone or if she's back or if Club Deck's just acting weird.
All right. Well, Lucy, glad to have you with us.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh my God, I did it. Yeah, I had to go
You
open
did
a
it,
room
you
in
this.
Zoom. Okay.
Okay, yep.
So
So
I
Lucy
am
is
in,
actually using Clubdeck. Yep.
I am. Yes,
Yay.
I am. So my question is, as a member of the morning crew for ACB Presents, when I come into the room, I'm automatically on stage. So
Mm-hmm.
will that be the case if I come in on Club Deck?
Yes.
Okay.
It will.
All right. Thank you very much.
So a couple of things with Club Deck I do want to talk about real quickly. So if you are part of an event and you're supposed to open it, whether it's one you've created or whatever, you will have two start buttons. There's the starter room, which is where you start your own individual room. And then there's another start button, and that'll start the event that is supposed to open. So that's how you start a room in Club Deck that you're scheduled for. There'll be a start, and you can up arrow to see if it's the correct one or not if you have multiple start buttons or whatever. Just real quick, I'm gonna talk about why I would say. First of all, do we have any more questions on either
Not
platform?
actually, Kirby, I have
All right.
one quick question again. Just one quick
Yes,
one.
and then I also have one suggestion as well. Anyway, go ahead.
You were talking about there's a sound that you hear when you can be accepted on stage in Club Deck. I have never heard it. So is there a way to change it or make it louder? Because I have never heard a sound ever.
It's very faint, and you just have to notice it and get used to it.
Okay.
But
all right.
One thing I was wondering though, now this would be an interesting experiment. If you when it comes to Club Deck and keeping the audio source, I wonder if it does better if you use the audio option that's available in the room as opposed to the top one. So that might be a very interesting experiment to find out about. All right.
And Herbie,
Zoom
just
up,
to let
zoom
you
up.
know, there's 8 minutes left.
All right.
Loop back.
And
Club
yes,
Deck.
I could
Club
tell
Deck.
that Lucy was on
Club
Club
Deck window.
Deck because
Club
the
Deck. Web
the way her
content.
microphone sounded, and all that. So.
Close. Meaningful. Club Deck. Web
So
content.
real quick, I'm going to show you creating an event on here.
Start a create an event button.
So I'm just
Create
using
an
my
event.
VOJ to
button.
get to create an event. I could also use the web router if I wanted to and type in C, and either way. But
Heading level 1. Events.
I'm going to VO space on that. So notice it says heading level
Upcoming
1.
events. My events. Close. Event name. Edit text.
And now it's saying event name, so I'm going to create an event for my Dice World Club actually tomorrow, which I need to do. Oops, I've forgotten about that. So, pig bonus, you can tell my opinion
Bonus.
on that.
Event description. Edit text.
Event description. Here I can tab or VO right to it. It doesn't matter. I'm going to say, please.
Delete. S. Please. Delete. E. Delete. R. Raise
your hand if you like to come on
delete T
stage and
B
be turned into bacon.
Bacon. Period. Exclamation mark.
I'll change that
X
period
period.
to an
Period.
exclamation
Delete
mark.
period.
There we go. So I'm just writing a description. I think it's 500 characters on both systems. And
Edit
here's
text.
where
Link. Add co-hosts or guests. Edit text.
it's interesting because we tell you to VO right through edit fields in the Mac. Here is actually where you want to tab.
10. Month stepper.
And rather than VO right, and this is where you get to your calendar. So this is how you determine the date.
27. Day stepper.
We want it for the 28th, so we up arrow.
2022. Year stepper.
2022. We want to leave
16
it at
hours.
that.
15. 4 30 12 11 12 10.
I'm gonna down arrow
52.
to the correct.
So I'm
just tabbing through these
35,
fields
30 30
here.
31 30.
So notice I'm not jumping through hoops here. I'm just tabbing. But now here's where it gets interesting, and I actually have not seen how this works on the Windows. On the Mac, here's where I do need to uninteract.
Link. Add co-hosts or guests.
And then just via right. Actually, I don't even need to uninteract. I just need to via right. So now I've got add co-hosts or guests.
Link. Add host club.
Add host club.
Enable replays. Checkbox. Link. Save as template. Save. Selected button.
I have not done much with the save as template, but
Link,
I'm
link,
going to
link,
go
link. Add co-host
choose.
link.
I'm
Add
going to choose
host
the
club.
host club first because that's the easiest. So I'm going to VO space on that.
No host club.
And
Selected
then
menu.
VO
Pop-up
right.
collapse button.
And in JAWS, I think you do need to get into forms mode. Here we just down
No
arrow.
host club. Let's play Dice World.
Let's play Dice World. I hit enter.
Let's play Dice World.
And
Link,
I'm
link.
going to add
Add co-hosts
some
or
people.
guests.
So let's VO left back to co-host or guest. I just do it in this order so I don't forget. You can do either way.
Search name. Search.
So I hit
field.
to VO space on this, and now I VO right arrowed once to search people, and now I can start adding. So I think I want to add Chanel. So I'm going to type in
Chanel.
just the name Chanel, and then I'm going to VO right.
Kirby Allen. Link.
That's telling me who all is invited so far, which is Moa.
Chanel Allen just now. Group. Chanel Allen just now. Unchecked checkbox.
And I had to VO right twice. They've made this a double layer checkbox thing now, so I just check the box.
Delete Chanel.
And why it's saying delete, I don't know, but she is now added.
Link. Add co-host. Search name. Search
And it
text
took me
field.
right back to that edit field. So now I can type in the next person, which is going to be Nikki.
Nikki. Kirby. Link. Chanel out. Link. Nikki Mobile just now. Group. Nikki Mobile just now. Unchecked checkbox.
And
End of. Nikki Keck 9
That's
hours
what you're
ago.
gonna want
Nikki Keck
because
9 hours
I
ago.
have to stream, so I'm going to be on the mobile.
Nikki and Nikki Mobile. Nikki Mobile just now. Unchecked
okay,
checkbox.
so
Search
we're
name.
going to check
Search
Nikki
text
Mobile. I was
field.
wondering. And so this is how I add people. And then I can add in others. Let's see. Nicole.
Kirby. Link. Nikki
You
Mobile.
can add
Link.
Nikki and
Link.
Nicole.
Chanel Allen. Link. Nikki Mobile. Link. Nicole Roos. Group. Delete Kirby Allen.
Oh, I guess I don't even have to
Search
look for
name.
the checkbox.
Search
I can just
text field.
VO space on the first time the name pops up. Hey, that's pretty cool. And now I just keep adding
Kirby. Link.
people who I want to add.
Link. Nikki. Link. Frank Martins. Frank and Dove. Frank Facio. Group. Delete Frank.
Oh, I know who I'm forgetting. Lucy.
Link. And Dove. Lucy Ard. We Hope. Group.
nope,
Lucy
not
Ard.
that
And Dove.
Lucy.
Link. Let's put Link and Lucy and Dove. Lucy Edmonds just now. Group.
And I went too far, so I had to left arrow back because
Search
I
name.
just moved
Search
fast through this thing.
text
But
field.
now I've added the correct Lucy. And that is that. Oh, Darcy. Can't forget him.
Link. Nikki. Link. Nicole. Link. Frank. Link. Lucy. Link. Darcy Bernard just now. Delete Darcy.
And we can't forget Holly.
Kirby. Link. And Holly Anderson. Group. Delete Holly.
And so these are all the people who I'm following that we bring up on stage for the Dice World Club ahead of time.
So, do you want me to tell you I was going through the same process on Windows?
Okay, so tell us, let me do this then. When I'm done, I can do a number of things, but I want to find my save button ultimately.
Jeff. Bill. Holly. Cindy. Let's play Dice. We're open to enable replay. Save.
So I'm
Selected.
just doing my VO Command J because I'm being lazy.
Okay. Default button.
And now it's telling me my event has been created.
Your event has been created.
I'm VO left arrowing to confirm
Okay,
that.
default
I'm going
save.
to enter on my default button.
Selected button.
And there we go. Okay, so tell me about the Windows process, Chanel. You're muted.
Oh, okay. Basically, you do have the same date and time picker thing, but it doesn't read as I'm arrowing through, which is kind of weird. So the first time you press tab, you get to the date, and then you can select everything, the month, the day, but it doesn't read it. So you kind of have to tab and shift tab. And then I can't remember if the date was. Oh.
What was that?
Yeah, it's 5:58. By the way.
Oh, okay.
Oh. Okay, so real quick, yeah, Clubdeck on the Mac, I would say, is a little bit more accessible than Clubdeck on Windows. The login screen is another example of that, where it does retain your phone number, but on the Mac, you don't have to fiddle with forms field. All that. So definitely play with Clubdeck. Guys, we've got to run, but I hope you all had fun. And thank you, Darcy. Thank you, Chanel. Thank you, Belinda. Thank you, everybody. I hope you all learned something about this app, and now maybe it'll become a lot less confusing for you all. And don't hesitate to find me. This thing will be uploaded to the Let's Talk Mac playlist over on my YouTube channel. So I will get that taken care of in a little while. Or maybe I won't. Oh, crap. This
Loop
is
back.
where we get into a whole nother problem.
Loop back window. On. Switch.
Okay, maybe it won't actually be. We'll see. So with that, guys, you two may end the respective rooms.
Alrighty. Have a good one.